Hello, Abigail here with the astrology of this week. This week, guys, not gonna lie, very intense, very higgledy-piggledy, and full-blown into the eclipse season. So starting off Monday, we have a really, really important astrological event. We have Saturn retrograding back into Pisces. We are wrapping up the Saturn cycle. Will we be fully into Aries again until 2026? Yeah, we're not done. We have a lot of work to do and a lot of things to adjust and figure out. Also, just FYI, the kind of technological stuff we've been experiencing the past 2.5 years, Saturn and Pisces. So just know that a lot of that is going to be coming back in. Pardon me, a lot of energy from the Saturn and Pisces stuff that we have yet to work through back on the table. And something about Saturn and Pisces is, especially with how deep and rich the energy of Pisces is, we don't always know what is happening until it happens. However, I will say this week we do get Mercury in Virgo. And so we are kind of offered on Tuesday an opportunity to kind of have a better understanding, and throughout this eclipse season, a better understanding of the Saturn cycle of the past 2.5-ish years. At this point, it's like 2 years. It'll be half by the time we get into Aries again. So know that all of this feels regressive. Also, later this week, Uranus stations retrograde. So pretty much everybody but Jupiter, as far as the outer and modern planets, are all going backwards. So know that it feels like regression. We are going to be forced into innovation and change, whether we like it or not. We are going to need to resist with all that we have, and we are going to need to find creative ways to problem solve within this. Thankfully, we do have, this Virgo Mercury here to help. So thank you, universe, for giving us that little bit of a boost. But it isn't going to be easy. And that shift back into, you know, Saturn retrograde is really going to, well, not Saturn retrograde, but Saturn into Pisces is really going to affect a lot of stuff on the world stage. So just be aware of the fact that we are headed back into stuff that we were experiencing 2024, part of 2023, things like that. So buckle in and pay attention, because you're going to start to get a better glimpse of what that Saturn in Pisces cycle was for you within this one. This kind of final pass gives us some insight into the energies that we were experiencing and the experiences we had and the themes, and all of that's really going to be coming to the surface in the next little bit. But Mercury in Virgo, we get to kind of take a breath. We will also get to experience a Cazimi, not this week, but next week. So there is that bit of hope. Also, Mercury in Pisces, not Pisces. Jesus, I am also higgledy-piggledy today. In Virgo is going to be opposing that Saturn as it leaves at the end of Virgo season. So just know that we're kind of building to this critical point. And then once it hits Libra, it goes straight into a trine with Uranus and then a trine with Pluto. So Mercury in Virgo is kind of a quick breath, a quick inhale, a quick release, and an exhale before we head into some really spicy aspects. But it is this moment of the universe lending us a helping hand during the eclipses. It's going to help us process things better. It's going to especially create clarity around the new moon. And why do I say that? Because on Wednesday, it goes right to the spot where that new moon was, into a square with Uranus. So if you are feeling battered, beleaguered, destroyed by that new moon, the way I am, and I'm, slowly leaving its little moment, then know that this Mercury Uranus square is going to finalize and kind of re-engage those themes and help us work through them on a mental plane, help us understand and digest them. Very, Virgo energy with the digestive system, and help us understand how to move forward from that moon, how to move more bravely into the eclipse that's going to happen at the end of this week. So know that there is a lot of support in this moment, even though that square with Uranus is going to be hard. It's going to challenge our way of thinking. It's going to challenge our beliefs. It's going to challenge the way that we think change can happen. And that's a good thing. We get to learn something new. We get to try a different path. And while it may seem hard, because it feels like this year especially, we've been doing path roulette where we try a different path all the time, that's fine. It's okay. we get to do that again and to do it better and to do it with more understanding and more capacity and an ability to kind of unravel what's happening, as it were. Then we also have on that day Jupiter trine the North Node. And North Node trines are interesting because they're so before their time and expansive and visionary, but it's also kind of scary to sit in that portal and to see the energy unfold and what is possible and what we can believe in and what we can do moving forward. And Jupiter makes things bigger. It's also about luck and abundance. It's also about immigrants. It's also about travelers. So tie those little threads together. Look at the way the world's working, especially in the US. There's stuff like that going on also in a lot of Europe, where they went and despoiled a bunch of third world countries, which is just word for pillaged by the West, and are now mad that those people live amongst them and that they're supposed to have equal rights. And they're trying to make sure they don't. So, yeah, this is going to have a lot to do with that. So keep your eyes peeled on Wednesday. But it also is about this expansion in your life. And I'll also say this, I don't think, especially with this being eclipse season, that we're going to get a very clear view of what this Jupiter moment is until after that final eclipse on the 21st. So don't expect to know what the good thing is that happens out of this, because I do think Jupiter, if that trine is bringing us something refreshing and good and invigorating. However, it's probably going to feel like too much, so much so that we don't quite understand its benefit. So just hold that loosely and know that something really good is happening this week. We just may not be aware of it right now, which I know doesn't seem to help, but it is there. There are, in this really complex astrology that's going to continue to be complex as we move through the rest of the seasons, especially with, you know, things being in Libra, which, as opposed to Aries, where a lot of stuff has happened this year, and, you know, trine Uranus and Pluto, know that the universe is handing us these kind of little gifts within the astrology. And this Jupiter trine the South Node, even though it may not be what it seems at this moment, is one of them. Mercury in Virgo, where it is both domicile and exalted, is one of them. And then we go to Saturday, and Uranus stations retrograde. And so, like I said earlier, this means everything feels regressive. Things are not going to feel progressive. We're going to have to really up our resistance to the powers that be, to the systems. It's going to feel like we're being taken back to times that we don't want to be, which I think we can already say we're feeling that. And it feels like footholds are being lost. But I think it's a reminder that these cycles happen all the time. Different signs, same cycles. And so the system has never been perfect. There's never been a time where it's been good for everyone. There's never been a time where it's been good for people of color in the US, period, full stop. Never been time. Never been a time where it's been okay for immigrants, even when people were emigrating back in the 1800s, but especially in the 1900s and late 1800s, so much bias and bigotry and hatred for the other. To know that what we're looking at is not a need to go back to a time where things were good, which is just a repackaged Make America Great Again, guys. But we need to go to a time that hasn't existed with the understanding and the knowledge and the messages and the history from indigeneity, from a world that was not colonized. And if you can, in this moment, throw your support behind Indigenous groups. Donate where you can, amplify their voices, support, do not speak for them, do not take over anything. But these retrogrades, this Pisces moment is a moment to return to indigeneity, to decolonize your mind, to cast off the trappings and the trappings of our ancestors that participated in violence. And since we can't really do too much externally during eclipse season because the universe is doing it, we can do all of this internal work. And it may not seem functional or practical, but the energy that you are infusing into your own body and soul is going to permeate into the world and connect others who are doing the work. And this is how we make change on a spiritual level and an external level. Okay? It's not all hopeless. We've got this. And then kind of our piece de resistance is our little, and I don't think I pronounced that correctly, whatever, is our Pisces lunar eclipse at 15 degrees of Pisces. Please check out where all this is happening in your chart. It'll really help you understand what's going on. And if you don't know how to read a chart, it'll start to help you learn how to read a chart. You know, a lot of people say, what is the best app? And there are a lot of good ones, but kind of the best way to read a chart is to learn to read a chart. And you don't have to become an astrologer to learn the basics. No, are you going to get as in depth as maybe a professional one? No, but you can understand basic aspects and what the elements are and what the kind of quality of a sign is and all those things, and help you understand what you need to know for yourself. And no astrologer has it all figured out. So you're just one of the bunch. Anyways, so we have this lunar eclipse, and it is going to be, trine Jupiter, and it's going to be opposing Mercury and conjunct the North Node. So there's a lot of shift and change within this moment. And, on that Wednesday, that Jupiter portal is going to lead us into this eclipse. So the pull is obviously going to be started the minute we enter this week, but it's going to really ramp up Wednesday and really just hammer it home till Sunday. So be aware of that energetically. But this is a really pivotal moment. And I don't think, especially with this being in Pisces, that we're going to get a clear view of stuff, that we're going to know what the purpose is, that we're going to feel like everything is okay. But this is a moment of transformation and growth. I will be doing a video on this so that we have a bit of more in-depth connection to it. And I'll talk about the energy, and I'll do pull tarot and things like that. But know that this is a really pivotal moment. It's a pivotal moment in the eclipse season story. If you are confused about what's happening now, this is the first part of that curtain being pulled back. That 29 degrees Virgo eclipse that is coming as I bang my table is, not conjunct, is opposing Saturn. So just know that the feelings you feel are valid. Also, I did the tarot reading for this week, and because to be honest, my mic died the first time, and I had a really beautiful video for you all, and I had to re-record it. That's okay. But the tarot reading one, I didn't have to re-record. And this week, we're at a massive karmic crossroads. Everyone around us and us in our own lives are choosing the path that we will take. And when we're at a karmic crossroads, there's no way to predict anything. It's really hard to read tarot for someone who's at a karmic crossroads. You really can only read options. There's no set path, because you are making not just a choice for this lifetime, you're making a choice for all of them. And while this can feel burdening, just know that you've done this before. Every soul has in a different lifetime. You've had these moments in this lifetime, but know that we're at this kind of soul crossroads. I got the Wheel of Fortune. Anything can happen. You just have to be okay with the choices that you make. And so I encourage you this week to really just, very Mercury and Virgo, deal with what you can deal with that's right in front of you. Trust the universe to handle what expands in front of you and what is happening around you. And know that whatever choice you make should be prefaced on your belief in your own innate value, and that you should get what you deserve, and you should pursue it, and you deserve more than you're getting right now from a lot of the situations you're in. And this eclipse is going to crack that wide open. So be ready, buckle up, because the eclipses are taking the wheel. And, do what you can. I would also encourage all of us, especially in this eclipse, Pisces eclipse specifically, if you do not have a spiritual practice, please get a spiritual practice. And if you haven't connected with a certain group of spirits, or if you've been called recently, this is your sign to connect and to deepen and enrich what you deserve, and your energy, and the spirits you work with, and your guides. And I've just seen a massive uptake in the past few years of spirits coming to the forefront, of deities looking for people to work with them, of ancestors trying to reconnect. Something is shifting on a cosmic level. 2025 is a huge year for this. It's shifting on the karmic level. It's shifting the past live periods and areas are shifting. So just know that this is an opportunity to do big things for your soul. I know you're not going to be conscious of all of them, and you shouldn't be. But stay true to yourself and ground down into the things you love. This is very Taurus advice. The little things that you love. Buy yourself a snack. Take a nap. Watch the thing you want to do. Hold hands with the person you're with, even if there's conflict. Find a way to connect this week. And trust and believe that what is coming for you is bigger and better than you can even imagine. And I'm not saying that everything's okay because it's not, but everything is working itself out so that you can find a way to be okay. And you can create a world where okay is not good enough and everyone gets everything they need. Anyways, this is my reading for you. I hope that it was helpful. If you like my stuff, please like and subscribe, and I will see you all in a different space and time. Have a blessed week, and I am standing in solidarity with all of you as we face this kind of energy.